So the fourth pillar, engagement. One of the great things about blended learning is that it just frees you up to do a lot of things to really have the students engage in the material. Um, and so, in 2009, I moved down here from New York, had a great job at New Tech High at Coppell, where we did a lot of engaging activities and engaging. It was a project-based learning school, which is one form of blended learning, which is just, again, a tremendous way because it puts students in real world situations. And so one of the things that I do a lot in my classroom is we use inquiry-based learning in the lab. And so it's a lot of conversations going on, students, essentially doing science by, hey, here's your goal. This is what you need to figure out. So if you're an AP Physics 1 student coming in next year in my classroom, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to be given two constant velocity cars, and you're going to be asked to crash them. One's going to be fast, one's going to be slow. Will they know how to do it? No, but through the model, through the blended learning model, they will gain those skills. They will be able to conduct the lab for it. They'll be able to use real-time data collecting devices, right? So vernier probes to collect the data so that they know where to put it, right? And so on one day, towards the end of the little this particular topic on constant velocity, I'm going to tell them your car has to be your cars have to start this far apart. You need to predict where they're going to meet, right? And so, but by this time, they know how fast the cars are moving. They have equations to set it up, and then they can do a quick little calculation. Say, okay, this car needs to be here. This car needs to be here. Here's our origin. Now we're going to crash them. So at the end of this, you'll have access to my Twitter. Be able to follow that because I'll be posting some of those videos because it's a really cool thing. I taught in Tennessee for 2.5 years or 2+ years, and we did this activity, and the assistant principals were all over. They came out in our commons area like, how's it going? What's going on? And they wanted to come out and see what the kids were doing. But not only were the students engaged, but the administration was engaged in this process as well. Another thing that we like to do is we use real world data collection tools to help collect data, right? So again, I mentioned this, the vernier motion sensors, force probes, things that, if students continue on in college and they major in engineering or science, things that they're going to use. So they already have that in their tool bag. Another thing that we like to do, or another activity I like to do is I'm big on head injuries. And so what I've done in the past is we've rated cars through what's called the head injury criterion score. And the kids actually had to go to the National Highway Traffic Safety Authority website, NHTSA, and get data from different cars. And what we did was we had them, again, I did this originally with a student teacher, but I've used it in other various forms along the way. So they had to go and get 2 cars worth of data, a new car, and then that same car. The goal was try to get a 20-year difference to see the technology difference. And then you have those conversations like, okay, why was this car much safer than that car? And then I show them the video. You can see here in the picture it's a 1959 Bel Air being crashed into a 2009 Malibu. Just to show you the difference in the safety. The kids love the video because we talk about the safety. Why, even though these cars were quote unquote, boats or tanks, why were they more dangerous than what we currently have? And I point out certain parts of the video. Watch the dashboard in the Bel Air. Watch the dashboard in the Malibu. But again, they're engaging in real world, scenarios. And then again, the activities, and so that's one of the activities I chose, or you can projects that simulate the real world. So project or problem-based learning is a version of blended learning. One cool thing I used to do is, of course, I used to do pumpkin chunkin. That's what I was known for in Coppell. I'm sure if you go talk to anyone who's at the school I was at, or someone who was really connected to Coppell in our district, they know me as the pumpkin chunkin guy. I used to have the kids create 4-foot by 8-foot catapults, and we used to launch actual pumpkins. But we also used it as a way to raise money for the school's charity that we were working with for the year. Another thing I used to do when I taught them Newton's laws was I made them accident reconstructionists, working for a police department. And so they had to go through like training on Newton's first law, second law, third law. They had to take, certification quizzes is what I call them. And then they got, little stickers on their badges, said, okay, good, you can go on. But I had them work in partners because that's what police officers do. And those partners had to help each other. Again, not only engaging in like a real world scenario, but keeping up that collaborative environment, in mind. And I told them like a lot of, this is an actual job. And I used to bring in the accident reconstructionist from the police department. We did it my first year at Richardson. We did bring in the accident reconstructionist for the Richardson Police Department, and he shared a lot of great information for the kids on past cases, how they solved them, excuse me. But again, engaging, right? Kids want to engage in those real world type problems because this is what is relevant to them. And we can do that in our classrooms through this blended learning model.